It's only been 10 years since a major Star Wars motion picture. No big deal. None at all. I'm not even excited. I don't even have any of these magazines framed. Well, I have this one. That's pretty cool. Let me put that down. Oh, I have Rolling Stone as well. Yeah, I have this one too. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have no more magazines framed. I can't even, if I were to look for one, I wouldn't find one. Oh, yeah. And I got this one too. Okay, I'm excited. What's going on, you guys? James here, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Rewind. Today we're diving into episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, before I get started on talking about why I love this movie, if I sound nasally, it's because I have sinus issues, and they're the devil. We don't like them. But if this is your first time here at the channel and you don't know what Star Wars Rewind is, that's me going through each and every Skywalker Saga episode, from 1 all the way through The Last Jedi, up until The Rise of Skywalker on December 20th, so you don't want to miss out. Go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell right next to it so you stay up to date with anything new that I drop here at the channel. Oh, and don't forget to like this video, share it with all of your friends in the galaxy, and in the comments below, since we are talking about The Force Awakens, let me know, is it really just A New Hope, or is it a film that can stand on its own? It's so beautiful. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's hop right into Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I'm gonna put this back now. Directed by J.J. Abrams, Star Wars Episode 7 was released in 2015. It's literally 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. But in the Star Wars universe, it's been 3 decades since the Empire and the Rebellion. Now it's the First Order and the Resistance. The thing is, they share a common goal. They want to find Luke Skywalker, the last Jedi. Literally, the last Jedi. Not the name of the next movie. The last Jedi ever. And then the rebels also have to deal with the First Order's Starkiller base. Now, I know I'm going to dive into the technical stuff, and I'm going to dive into the script and everything that I love about this movie, but can we just mention the trailers for The Force Awakens? Was anyone else really hyped for this movie because of the trailers as well? I mean, you could have just put Star Wars and I would have been excited, but each and every trailer for this film was so amazing, from the teaser trailers to the full trailers. Oh my goodness. I used to work at Best Buy, and on every single TV, they just have The Force Awakens playing. You know, the trailer where it opens up with Rey, you know, with her mask and everything, and she's digging for stuff. It's really cool, and I think that this movie did a great job in marketing the fact that, hey, it's the first Star Wars film in a decade. Get excited. Now, outside of all the trailers, one thing I noticed about this film is that the score is aces. It's like John Williams never missed a beat. I get it. He's the best composer of all time. But for some reason, my nostalgia was like at 100, and it went up to like a 2000 after hearing his score. And I love that he added new things to the film too. I mean, Rey's theme, Kylo Ren's theme. A lot of it really makes sense for the story. And what's great is that while the visuals look impressive, John Williams' score brings everything to life. That's what I love so much about him, and especially about this film. Now, if this is your first time here at the channel, you might not know that I love cinematography, but I'm telling you, I absolutely adore cinematography. For some reason, it's something I've picked up on that in scores, and in this movie, J.J. Abrams picked a good cinematographer. Dan Mindel did something so impressive with this Star Wars film, and up to this point, it really is the most beautifully shot film to date in this entire Skywalker saga. I mean, I'm not gonna look at sunsets the same. When those 3 TIE fighters are flying towards the camera and you see like that ripple effect from the heat and everything looks so beautiful, those sort of moments really make The Force Awakens so different from the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. It set a new bar for Star Wars films moving forward. Now, leading up to this film, I was really excited to see what J.J. Abrams could bring to the table in terms of new characters, because I'm used to Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon. I'm not used to some new faces, and I think it was kind of cool that Lawrence Kasdan, J.J. Abrams, and Michael Arndt, the writers for the script, did a great job at giving each character a moment, if that makes sense, and the arcs were starting to develop. I mean, clearly, Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaac, he's one of the first characters introduced, is fantastic. He's like a quippier Han Solo. He's got the pilot skills of a Luke and an Anakin, so it's neat how he's kind of blended together, but he's still his own character. Adam Driver is out of this world. I mean, I think he's more menacing than Darth Vader. The character is a little bit scarier because he's unhinged. Throughout the film, you notice he's throwing temper tantrums and he really can't control his emotions. That's what makes him so unstable and so scary. Also, I mean, Adam Driver is just a genius. He brings some emotion here that I've never seen in a Star Wars movie. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, but Adam Driver, I think, is the best actor that this entire franchise has ever had. And then you have one of my personal favorite characters of this sequel trilogy, and that's John Boyega's Finn, or FN2187. I think that's what it is. But anyways, he's so relatable for me, and I think I empathize with his character the most because he would be who I would want to be in the Star Wars universe. caring for friends, looking out for loved ones, and fighting for what's right and righteous. And I love all of his moments in The Force Awakens. I mean, immediately I think of him in the Millennium Falcon, or Falcon. We're still on that, guys. We're still on it. And then I think of him holding Luke's blue lightsaber. There's really nothing I love more than a film that can build up a character, make you love him, and then take you on an emotional journey each and every time because, guys, I was still a wreck after this rewatch. I'm just saying. And last but not least, Daisy Ridley as Rey is absolutely fantastic. What the writers do with her character is so unique. She's kind of like a nobody. I mean, she was found on Jakku, which is really basically nowhere, and she's trying to figure out who she is and her identity, and then all the while she's overwhelmed knowing that Han Solo exists and that the Jedi is real and Luke Skywalker is alive somewhere. It's really cool just to see her character go from immature to mature over the course of maybe 2 hours. This film is just so good at that, and I really did fall in love with Rey and Finn's relationship too. Listen, I'm still gonna ship them. I still want them to get together. Guys, don't ruin this for me. Don't do it. So let's actually talk about another dynamic that I loved about this movie, which is Finn and Poe. Their relationship is special. Their friendship is something really cool to see because it blossomed with them both needing each other to escape, right, from the First Order. And then they get to Jakku and things go haywire. Eventually they meet up again. But it's almost like Finn was willing to risk his life for someone he didn't even know because, of course, he's standing up for what's right. And I love that Poe also started to get, a softer side in his heart for someone who was part of the First Order. I mean, this guy was a stormtrooper literally 30 minutes ago. But what's really cool is to see both of them so funny together, and they just kind of love on others and they love on each other, and it's so nice. Guys, I'm getting all sappy again. And then eventually the film reintroduces you to Han Solo, who's played, of course, by Harrison Ford, and then General Leia, played by Carrie Fisher. It's so neat to see that they both have really good synergy on screen, and the chemistry among the new cast with the old cast is so natural. And something that I felt was lacking in the prequels was made up for here in The Force Awakens, which is very practical environments. Sure, there's a lot of CG, but everything felt so alive, and you can tell that J.J. Abrams and the crew spent a lot of time on these little droids, or these really big mammoth creature thingies. It felt dirty, it felt gritty, it felt like Star Wars, and I think that's really important. And speaking of dirty and gritty, actor Donald Gleason as General Hux, who's like the number 2 right next to Kylo, is out of this world. I mean, he's so sinister, but what's great is when he's giving that speech to the First Order and all those stormtroopers before they go and basically try to blow up another planet, it's so unsettling because I've never seen anything like that in a Star Wars film. Oh, and before we move on from our new characters, I like that J.J. Abrams allowed Daisy Ridley to be independent. Rey don't need no man. So outside of the amazing characters, the beautiful cinematography, and the awesome set designs, there was one complaint. I mean, there were many complaints that I heard from this movie, but there's one that I want to address. Guys, I love the fan service, okay? Now I'm gonna put my iPad down. I do not care that J.J. Abrams included all that fan service in his script. You know why? It has been 10 years since we had a Star Wars movie. I'm definitely okay with being given lines like Chewie, we're home, or name dropping people. Like, I'm okay with referencing the original trilogy. Yeah, they hit you over the head with it sometimes, but that's what makes these movies fun, because we can go back and think, oh my god, yeah, oh, this is so cool. I love how it relates and it ties in. If you didn't like the fan service, like, come on, guys, what did you expect? Now, there is another complaint that I will agree with. There are some lazy plot points in this film, and I think this is what really holds it back from being an ultimate Star Wars film, because while it has every shade of Star Wars that I can think of, the one thing it doesn't really have is a unique story. Sure, the characters are unique, but everything in the narrative was something we've seen already, and we saw it in A New Hope. Okay, so I know I'm saying a lot about episode 7, but if you want me to sum up my feelings, I would have to say that I absolutely love this movie. Like I said, it's not a perfect Star Wars movie. They rehashed a lot of the elements from episode 4, but what you get in The Force Awakens is great direction by J.J. Abrams, an amazing script by a legend in Lawrence Kasdan, and then you have a core cast of characters that you can really root for. That's the thing. You're rooting for Kylo, even though he's a bad guy, because you want to see him turn to the light side. You're obviously rooting for Rey, Finn, Poe, General Leia, Han, and Chewie. And then you get introduced to this new world and some new layers to the story that make you want to come back for episode 8. And that's what JJ did. He left breadcrumbs. This film did exactly what it intended to do, which was again spark the Skywalker saga. And what better way to do it than with The Force Awakens? And yeah, I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times, but each time I rewatch this film, my smile gets a little bit wider, just knowing a Star Wars movie like this exists. Okay guys, so there you have it. I love The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's probably sitting at number 3 right now in my rankings, but I want to know what you guys think. Is Force Awakens really as good as I'm saying it is, Or did you enjoy it a little bit less because it felt too much like episode 4? Let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I got a couple more reviews to drop, including a certain episode. Yeah, you know what it is. Alrighty, you guys, so until Star Wars Episode 8, I'll catch you at the next screening.